Welcome back to the Ghost Bunny Podcast. I'm your host, Bridget Marquardt, with a brand new episode for you guys. My guest today is Daniel Klaes. Daniel is a trailblazer in the paranormal realm. Daniel serves as the executive in charge of Death Walker alongside Nick and Tessa Groff. They are currently finishing up on delivering season 5. Daniel boasts an impressive resume filled with numerous national television appearances on shows such as Paranormal Lockdown, America's Most Terrifying Places, Paranormal Night Shift, and My Paranormal Nightmare, among others. As an executive producer and cast member of the longest-running independent ghost hunting show, The Ghost Finders, Daniel has made significant contributions to the field of paranormal investigation. His passion for the paranormal ignited at a young age while growing up in a haunted house, inspiring a lifelong fascination with the paranormal. In 2012, he co-founded the Greater Western New York Paranormal Society, which gained recognition for tackling some of the most challenging paranormal cases in the New York area. A pivotal moment in Daniel's life came in June 2015 when he seized the opportunity to purchase the renowned Hinsdale House. Known for its mysterious paranormal activity and historical exorcisms featured in various books and national television series, this iconic location became a significant part of his legacy. However, this past year has been significantly challenging for Daniel and his family. In May, his 13-year-old daughter was diagnosed with osteosarcoma, a rare form of bone cancer. Since then, he has focused his energies on her recovery, supporting her through 3 surgeries and 7 rounds of chemotherapy. With hope in his heart, he looks forward to her final round of treatment and a journey toward recovery. And I'm so excited he had some time to spend with us today. Daniel, thank you so much for doing the show today.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yes. So first of all, let me start. You guys were just in New York. How was Little Shop of Horrors?
It was amazing. My daughter loved it. I actually liked it. We were singing the Seymour song all the way back to the hotel.
How fun. And you said she had a shopping spree at Sephora?
She did Sephora. She did some other stores that I've never heard of that must be trending online because there was like an hour wait to get in. And also she went to FAO Schwartz and did the experience with these stuffed animals. I think they're called jelly cats.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah,
Wait,
she lived it up.
I didn't think FAO Schwartz still existed. I thought they were like bankrupt or something.
No, there's still a store there, and they still have the big giant piano you can walk on, and the Lego World, and it's different. It wasn't like the flagship store in Times Square, but it was like by Rockefeller Plaza.
Okay. Well, I'll have to check that out because I do love a good toy store like that.
It was awesome. It was just, I was like in the Funko Pop area and just like I love the store. It was great.
Yeah. And how is she doing?
She's doing really well. She's been through 3 surgeries. We've cut all the cancer out of her body right now, and she's just on a preventative 6-month regimen of chemo that's oral. So we're hopefully that'll knock out any lingering cells that might be in her body, and she'll be able to just go on and lead a normal life after this. But what a run it's been,
Yeah. It was interesting because a friend of mine, who I've also had on the podcast before, her name's Elizabeth Yuko. She lives in New York, and she contacted me and she was like, "Hey, do you want to go to Lilydale with me this summer?" And I was like, "Yeah, I would love to. Let's figure that out and let's make that work." Then I had another person referred to me to be on the podcast, and we did her interview and we had a lot of fun. And she was like, "Oh, by the way, I got asked to do a workshop at Lilydale this summer in August, and you should come." And I was like, "Oh my God, that'd be great. I wanted to go this summer anyway." And she's like, "Oh, and my friend has the Hinsdale House for us on one of the nights that we're there, and you're welcome to join us." And I was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing. I have to do this." So then I contacted my first friend and I was like, "Hey, do you want to do it like with all these people and do this?" It's just like, "Absolutely." And so now it's like this big thing, and my sister's going to meet me there too. And we're going to do Lilydale and the Hinsdale House. And I'm even going to fit in Niagara Falls because I've never been.
Yes, that'll be fun. It sounds like a nice vacation.
Yeah. Have you done Lilydale?
I've been to Lilydale many times. I'm blessed to only live an hour away. So it's a nice, relaxing place, and you can really just get your mind off things, and it's like a meditation just even being there,
Yeah. Since you live so close, do you ever stay at Lilydale, like stay the night?
I've never stayed the night there, but I've gone up for the day numerous times. Many of my friends that have come up to the area have requested to go there, so we've gone to Lilydale for the day and just shown them around and check everything out and enjoy the shops and the pet cemetery and the inspiration stump and the lake. It's just beautiful.
And has anybody given you a message when you were at one of the services?
No, I've never been had a message. Let me just correct that. I have gotten a message from a psychic there. It's actually how I started believing in psychics, is by going to Lilydale, like years and years and years ago. But since that happened, I haven't I've gotten a message from anybody there. But the one that I got a message from was like dead on and just like answered all my questions. And it was before I even paid her. And she was like, "Oh, you have children spirits living in your house." I'm like, "What?" Like just confirmed everything I was thinking in my head. I'm like, and then she told me stuff about my grandfather, like specifics, like he knows you have one of his pieces of clothes in your closet and down by your chair, maybe, she said. And I'm like, oh my God, because I had his hat sitting next to my chair downstairs and I had 2 of his umpire shirts in my closet. Like she was just dead on, like totally made me believe.
Yeah. Oh, this is so exciting. Well, when I go there, I'm going to obviously do my friend's workshop, but she's also leading some paranormal investigations at night there.
That's awesome. I've never been able to do like investigate theirs.
No, and I honestly, not that I looked into it too much, but I didn't even know that they did that. Like I know it's psychic mediums and readings and things like that, but I didn't know that they would welcome a paranormal investigation at night.
Yeah, that's really cool. I have heard of them doing it before, but I think they don't do it a lot. So
Yeah. So I'm excited for it. And then obviously we'll be heading. Oh, and I've heard too that the reason I asked if you're staying the night, if you've ever stayed the night there, is because we are staying 2 nights there. And I've heard that all of the homes there and inns and hotels, everything on Lilydale is like haunted.
I have heard the same. I think they also have camping there as well. They have like some sites for camping if you want. But I'd stay in the hotel totally. It looks really nice.
Yeah, we're staying in one of the inns. So fingers crossed.
Oh, cool.
I at least have my own bathroom.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be a nice active night. Yeah, most importantly, right?
Right.
My own bathroom.
Yeah, because a lot of the rooms are like, a lot of them are like Airbnbs and you share things. So I'm willing to share my ghost stories, but
Yeah, it's always nice when you can have your own space.
yeah, but not the bathroom.
Right.
Okay, and so then we're gonna leave there, and the rest of the party is staying one more night in Lilydale, but my friend and my sister and I are leaving, and we're gonna go to Jamestown for a night.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what we're gonna do there, but we're gonna just.
Well, Jamestown is it has a really cool comedy club. It's the home of Lucille Ball.
Yes.
So there's a lot of cool history in Jamestown and Bemis Point. So yeah, maybe do something Lucille Ball themed, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, we are going to go visit her grave and see the statue and go to her museum. So maybe that will be enough to keep us entertained for the for the night that we're there.
Probably. That and a nice good meal.
Yeah. Oh, if you have recommendations for that, I would love it.
There's this really cool 50s diner there that's really good that you should try. I'll get the name of it and let you know. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Okay, sounds good. So then the next night we'll be going to the Hinsdale House, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I know I had you on my previous podcast a long time ago, and we talked about the Hinsdale House, but I was like, no, now I need him to come on. I need to know everything. I want to know, again, like the history and the hauntings and what people have experienced and the woods. I need to know about the forest too. So it's all you. Tell me all about it. It's no secret to you guys, but I love summertime. And there's something about this time of year that just makes you want to feel and look your best. It's the perfect time to create healthy meal habits that will last, and the best time to get Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for clean eating. I know we're always busy, but there's something about the summertime that makes you want to spend less time in the kitchen and more time outside and enjoying things. With Green Chef's new Heat and Eat meals, you can enjoy a delicious, wholesome meal in just 3 minutes. It's perfect for supporting your wellness journey. Green Chef recipes feature fresh, organic, seasonal produce and 100% responsibly sourced proteins to help you feel your best. Green Chef's real clean ingredients help you build lasting, healthy habits without the hassle. Enjoy salads ready in just 5 minutes, protein-filled breakfasts, or nutrient-rich smoothies to fill your day. Green Chef is ready to nurture your nutritional needs. And you guys, they have 80 plus dietitian-approved weekly meal options, which is great for me because I'm very particular when it comes to my food choices. Green Chef makes it easy to find meals that fit your lifestyle. You can pick from Mediterranean, gluten-free, plant-based, protein-heavy, even gut and brain health, and calorie-smart choices too. The recipes change every week, and with week-to-week flexibility, you can adjust your plan to match your mood and your schedule. Green Chef makes enjoying my summer a lot easier. The grocery shopping is done, the meals are quick and easy, and they are healthy. Make this summer your healthiest yet with Green Chef. Head to greenchef.com/50ghostbunny and use code 50ghostbunny to get 50% off your first month, then 20% off for 2 months with free shipping. That's code 50ghostbunny at greenchef.com/50ghostbunny.
There's been a lot since the last time we spoke. I know that you're friends with Nick and Tessa, and I know, we've been filming their show Deathwalker, and we started filming a couple years ago and then came back and filmed another episode. With some of the production budget, we were able to bring in GPR, ground penetrating radar, and start looking around the land. And in 2 different areas on the property, they've found potential burial shafts where there's bodies buried on the property. One looks to be like more of a mass grave where there's numerous bodies in one area, and then one looks like to be maybe an old family plot with potentially 4 bodies there that may have been overlooked. Or it's weird because where they found the 4 bodies, when they dug a pond, they dug all the dirt and dumped it on top of where that would have been. So they would have just been like forgotten. Yeah. So I'm wondering if maybe that has something to do with the hauntings there.
Interesting. Well, tell everybody listening, let's back up and do the history of the property and the home.
Yeah. So the house was built in 1853. It became famous in the 1970s when a family from Buffalo, New York, the Dandy family, thought they found their home away from home, and this was her dream home. It was a little farmhouse in the middle of nowhere, lots of land, and immediately when they moved into this place, they started having things happen that were unexplainable. Poltergeist activity. They were seeing people that they thought were there but weren't there. They were hearing chanting and things coming from the forest, and when they'd investigate, they weren't able to find anything out. Numerous occasions of poltergeist activity where people were getting scratched and rocks and bricks were being thrown. Kids were playing with a Ouija board to try to figure out what was going on, and a statue came flying off the shelf at them while they were in there. This is all documented in Clara's book, all the things that happened. It got to the point where she couldn't deal with it anymore on her own, so she contacted a priest from a local university, St. Bonaventure. His name was Father Al Trebolt, and he came there and did a mass in the kitchen. It seemed to die down for a little bit, but then it got to the point where he had to get the okay from the Vatican to perform a structural exorcism, like a cleansing of the location, in 1974, of April of 1974. And they brought in a psychic, Alex Tanis. They had a film crew from New York City there, and the priest was there with the family. The family was all kneeling in a circle in the living room, and he performed this structural exorcism of the location. They said the whole house shook. It sounded like it was screaming, and then it was cleared within 20 seconds. And then it all came back full force. And, this priest, he was, pretty big on the occult, on all different types of religion, but he told them there was nothing else he could do. So they basically just cut their losses and left the house and moved to California. And that house, had numerous residents move in and out throughout the years up until 1986. And then I purchased it. And right before it was about to get torn down, I purchased it, and I've been fixing it up for almost 10 years now, and we've been using it as a paranormal research center. It seems like there's so many different layers of what makes this place tick. Owning the place, we've been able to dive in a lot, looking at different folklore and different theories, and bringing in different people. Like yourself, you may be able to give some input when you're there. It's a team effort, and we've been able to uncover so many different things. And but then it's like a puzzle. So after you put a puzzle piece in, there's 100 more that you have to go through. So there's definitely Definitely some cool stuff that have to do with Native Americans and the history of Hinsdale. When we were digging a new septic system, we found like spearheads in the ground. So we do know that there was like a native feel to it. They said that in the history that there was Native American burial grounds on the property, which they would be on the neighboring property now. So it makes sense that people have seen Native American spirits and even a chief in the driveway. They have like, it looks like a chief with a full headdress on, just standing in the driveway as a spirit. There's folklore of a little girl, a young girl that supposedly was married and she was pregnant, and when her husband went off to fight in the war, they accused her of adultery and then hung her body in the northeast corner of the property where there was the hanging tree. We did confirm that there was a hanging tree there, so numerous people could have been killed on that part of the property. But a lot of the times that people see this woman in white wandering the property, and we've captured her on pictures, they think that might be her, like trying to find her husband or something. I don't know. Now that we found the potential bodies, I have other theories, but it's like, who knows? They also say that there were two brothers that lived there that were luring people in from the stagecoach trail. We did look at like where the stagecoach trails were, and there was a trail on the main road that went all the way up the hill. There was a docking station or a place where they would have stopped on the hill. So it could potentially be a situation where they did lure people in, and then they killed them, murdered them, raped them, stole their goods, and then supposedly buried their bodies on the property. And that's the folklore of it. There's no way to prove it. But now that we're finding things on the property, when we've got an EVP saying, help, I'm dead, I'm buried, find me, stuff like that. It's like psychics have even come in and said there's bodies buried right on the outside of the house. So far, in the two places that we've looked, we've found potentially some bodies there. So, I mean, it's just a dive deep type of thing. And you look at how the house was built. You look where they made it. We're keeping people up in the upstairs of the house, and how the stairs are, and how there could have been like a trap door that maybe locked people in up there. I mean, there's lots of different theories, and it's cool to hear what other people come up with. But that's, I mean, I've been going at it for about 10 years there. So
Yeah. Okay. So you found what potentially could be grave sites. What happens when you find something like that? Like, do you have to notify somebody? Do they do an excavation to find out? Like, what happens next?
So when we notified the sheriff's department immediately, they basically told us that because they're ancient graves, that they were going to mark them there. But if we excavated them, it would be an open, investigation, and we'd probably be shut down for a long time. So we're just marking them. We put up a grave marker and some fencing around it, just so to pay homage to them, And the other one we haven't done anything with yet because it was just found months ago. So it's funny, like where the grave site is with the four bodies. It looks like to be like two kids and two adults. We started doing some more excavating, like over to the right side of the pond, and then we started seeing this foundation that we started uncovering there, because we were getting hits for like gold, in the ground. So we started digging there, and then we started looking, and there's this wall there, like you can see the whole outline of a stone, chiseled stone wall, which is really cool. We got to the point where we found the floor. We're not really sure what it is yet at this point. We do know that there was a barn, but we have pictures of the barn where it once stood, and it's where the pond is now. So it wouldn't have been a foundation for a barn, and normally barns don't have a foundation anyway. So this looks more like it could be like a homestead or a house. But we're in the beginning stages of starting to excavate that out as well. I want to find that gold.
Yeah, right.
Something's there.
Yeah. Why do you think that activity picked up with the Dandies in the 70s?
I think like right before they bought the house, it was purchased by an investor. It was originally 100 acres, and then they subparceled it out to about 10-acre plots. And what they did is on the properties is tried to make them nicer, so they put ponds in on the properties to like lure in animals and maybe hunters or something like that. This one just happened to have a house on it. and they built that pond, and I feel like maybe that had something to do with starting up all the energy there, because maybe they unearthed something. She's talked about like finding bones, the dogs finding bones out by the pond, so I feel like there was some type of cover up there. We found when we had divers dive into the pond, because there was a folklore story about a car that went into the pond and there were dead bodies in the bottom of the pond. It's a pretty deep pond, but we had forensic divers go into the pond and they found half of a grave marker stone in the pond, and then we found the other half in the ground. So whoever, I'm not making accusations, but perhaps they didn't want people to know there was a graveyard on the property, and they just broke the headstone off and dumped it in the pond. And I mean, I'd be pissed if I was dead and forgotten like that. That's why we're paying homage to them, giving them, remembering them now. So I feel like maybe that has something to do with it.
Did they put ponds on? Well, I guess what my real question is do the neighbors who are also on part of that 100 acres that was divided up, are they also experiencing things?
A lot, yeah. A lot of the neighbors that I have said that the things are happening at their house. One of the neighbors I have is actually, she's gained such an interest in it now that she's helps out doing tours there. She's learned how to investigate, and she's talks about all the stuff she hears by her house all the time. So it's not it's happening. It's called the Enchanted Mountains. So I think that a lot of throughout time, you name it, the Enchanted Mountains for a reason. Probably a lot of people hearing and seeing things that they can't explain. I mean, it goes as far as cryptids at the house that we've uncovered. Literally, are you familiar with Jeff Fent?
No.
So he's mixed spirit boxes out of like wood from haunted locations, and he made one out of the Hinsdale House, and he has a very big interest in the house because of the communication that we get there. He came up there and wanted to spend some time in the forest, which I would never do. But he was using different light spectrums, and he was using this red light, and he started snapping pictures because he felt like he heard something, and captured this creature up in the tree. It had like long fingers, long toes. It looked like a monkey face. So it's not like, I thought maybe it was a shaved bear, but the only explanation I got was from a shaman out of St. Louis. They said it was a pukwudgie, which is a type of Native American
I was going to
cryptid.
say that.
Yeah. So, and 2 other paranormal teams have captured it as well. So normally they don't like to be on camera. So we have a few pictures of this thing, which is creepy AF. And we know that we have something out there as well as far as cryptids go. There's also been times where we've gone outside and it looks like the hill is lit up by like little lights. And so there might be some type of, I mean, I don't really know what causes that. It looks like it's like enchanted, like the hill, and like all these little tiny lights are lighting it up. So somebody said it's a fairy, could be fairies. I don't, I've never dove into that too much, but the cryptid thing is really cool.
I mean, maybe those lights have been there forever, and that's how the mountain even got its name.
Perhaps. I mean, it does look enchanting.
Well, the pukwudgie is interesting because even just you describing it, I'm like, that sounds like a pukwudgie. And I've never seen a pukwudgie in my life, but I just felt like that was my instinct of what that probably is. And those have like a negative connotation to them, right?
They say that online, but we've never had anything negative happen. With just that feeling of being looked at or looked over when you're up in the hill, and as long as we're being nice, it seems to be that way back to us. So we're being very respectful. We started a giving tree up there to give to the energies and Native American spirits that may be on the hill. And if it does protect Native American burial grounds, maybe it sees that we come in peace, I'm hoping, because we've never had any negative type of connotations with it. So
how close are the woods to the house?
I'd say probably about 25 yards from the house. I built steps that go up the mountain, so it's easier to get up there. But yeah, it's pretty close. One time I was doing a tour and I had my geo box and it was a little damp out, and this is pre-stairs, and I was trying to get down the hill and my feet just fell out from behind me, and I'm like sliding down the hill with mud, and I got my spirit box up like this because I'm like, that was expensive. Heck with my body, like. And yeah, so after that, I'm like, I'm putting steps in. So there's steps there now. Probably safer anyway.
Okay, well, I feel like I can't go there and not check out the woods.
Yeah, maybe you should spend the night in the woods.
Well, I don't have to go that far.
Be the first.
Oh my
Bring you can
gosh.
sleep in the hammock out there.
I'll be the first and the last. They'll never see
Yeah,
me
right.
again. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what when people go there to investigate or just on tour or whatever, what is the number one thing people experience there?
They're going to get a lot of EVPs, electronic voice phenomena. You're going to get a lot of interaction with like K2 meters and things that can be energy be manipulated. And I would say probably the other top thing is shadow figures inside the house for sure. Probably like
Okay.
30% of the time, 40% of the time, with all the data that we've collected over the past 10 years, people are seeing this with their own eyes. So
And what would you say are the experiences that they have? Like, do doors slam? Or, I mean, I know you said shadow figures, but like, what other types of things?
yeah, so I mean, you name it. So like we've had on camera things moving, poltergeist activity. We've had the doors to the basement open and shut, door to the bathroom open and shut. They've experienced full body apparitions upstairs, shadow figures upstairs. It's unbelievable the amount of things that have happened there. Like just because we've been collecting data, I've had teams that investigate there give us their rundown of what happened while they were there, and we've been collecting all that data and putting it into charts, figuring out like where the hot spots are in the location, and just trying to like put our finger on what's happening, what times things are happening, and it happens a lot of the time. Most of the time, teams that are there experience things. There are the few times it seems like far few beyond that teams come in and say, "Oh, we didn't experience anything." It does happen, but for the most part, they're experiencing something, which is in the paranormal world to get one EVP is great. Like you just never know. So,
Yeah. What would you say is the most active area in the house?
for me, the kitchen and the living room, for me personally, I've had experiences in both. The living room, I felt like something touched me when I was on the couch. And when I turned around, I saw a shadow moving back and forth in the room. And then the only light that was on in the room was a night light on the wall. And then it just dissipated right into the wall. And then in the kitchen, before I had bought the house, this is part of the reason that I bought the house, I had started learning about other families that lived there and thought, this may have happened to other families, like who knows, and then I found out about this older couple that lived there, the Misnick family, and then they had both been passed away, and we were sitting there talking about the exorcism and nothing was happening, so I called out her name, Flo, and I had a K2 meter in my hand. It went all the way up to 500 milligauss. I felt like static bumps all up my arm, felt like something was happening, and I continued to have what I thought was a conversation with her. And I asked her if she would hold my hand as we went up the stairs. And I had that sensation in my hand. The K2 meter stayed lit all the way up the stairs until we got to the main floor up there, and then it dissipated. And then deja vu. I posted the picture of the house on my Facebook page, and I got a message from Jackie, her granddaughter, the next day, who I didn't even know, saying that's my grandparents' old house. I'm like, whoa. So it was like,
Yeah.
I have to. I started immediately looking into how can I save this place from the wrecking ball, because it was no electricity was in the house at the time. All the ductwork was ripped out. There was black mold in the kitchen, and I was like going to the guy that owned it and telling him that I need to buy it, save it. And he's like, "You're gonna buy this place?" I'm like, "Yeah, I needed to, because it's just so many things that would have been gone. Like it's so sad to see some of these places that may have all this history and needs time to develop and never gets the time because it just gets torn down. So we were able to save, and the paranormal community has really embraced it. So
Is there a room that has like bugs or flies or something? Or had bugs and flies?
yes, that is Mary's room. That's upstairs. They thought that was the epicenter of the room. Many psychics have come there and said that there's energy in that room that's off the chart. When I bought the house, there was honeybees in the house, and you feel like bugs are attracted to energy. 500,000 honeybees in that house, and they were all underneath the floorboards of that room. They built their hive underneath that room, and they try to come back every now and then, but we've safely removed them. You can buy honey down the street on Route 16, haunted Hinsdale honey now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and that room was always the room and downstairs where we would get like flies and bugs, infestation of them, and then they just go away. It's weird. There'd be like hundreds of them, and then you'd go and come back and they'd all be gone. There may be a couple dead ones sitting there, but just a really weird energy in that room. It's the only room I've never slept in that house. It just doesn't feel comfortable to me.
Whoa. Yeah, the fly infestation thing, it just reminds me of Amityville because I don't even know if that truly happened at Amityville, but in the movie, there's like a
Right.
fly infestation that's like gone instantly.
Yep. And that's exactly how it happened there too. It's I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen them there and I've seen them gone, and I'm like, where did they go?
You brought up the haunted honey, and then that just made me think. I think I have vodka, the Harridan vodka that was at the Hinsdale House.
Oh,
They did do some there, right?
I think they did, yeah. Or no, that was what location was that? That was at the
Was it the Conjuring House?
Conjuring House. Yeah. Yeah, the vodka was at the Conjuring
Oh, is
House.
that what it's from? Okay, I have to
Yep.
check it again. I'm like, what was it from?
Yep.
Well, I'm surprised they don't have vodka brewing at the Hinsdale House.
Hey, you never know.
Maybe it's next.
Maybe. Maybe we'll do whiskey at the Hinsdale House or something. Who knows?
Yeah. You said that the paranormal community has really embraced it and stuff. Who out there has been there? I mean, I know a lot of people, but like tell me like people that the listeners might know, any of the
Oh,
shows or like really famous people.
I mean, a lot of famous YouTubers have been there, exploring with Josh, Omar Gosh. We've had the Dakota and his sister and the Project Fear group. We've had Nick and Tessa who have filmed there. We've had Dustin Perry there from Ghost Adventures. We've had Sherry D. Benedetti there from Ghost, or not from Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters. They would kill me if I said that. Ghost
Yeah.
Hunters. So many of the ghost hunting crew has been there. Yeah, and the cool thing is I have them all sign the wall on the inside of the house. You can actually go around and find people's signatures on the wall and see who's actually been there. I've taken quite a few pictures as well of people that are famously known in the paranormal world that have actually been there and investigated it on a tour. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's so fun.
You'll have to sign when you go. Find a spot.
Okay, I will.
All right.
Yeah, I will. Are you actually there? Like, will you be there when we are there, or do you have other people that help run it and get people set up?
Oh, I have other people that help run it. I can probably be there though. I can probably swing by and say hi, and
That'd be fun.
give you guys a little tour and let you at it.
Yeah. Then we can get a photo too
Yeah, sounds good.
and meet in person for once.
Yeah.
But I've said before too, like that was one of the coolest things when I went to Michigan Paracon a couple of years ago. Like I've met practically everybody in this field, not everybody, but so many people, but I'd never actually met them. Like I've done my podcast, I've talked to them for an hour. Some of them I even stay in touch with and everything. But then I went to Michigan Paracon and I actually got to meet everybody, like give a hug and take a picture and like go to the bar with them and
Yeah.
stuff, like hang out. It was so cool.
Yeah, that was fun. I love that Paracon, and I would have gone. I was supposed to go the year that you were there, and that's when Shaylee was diagnosed, so I just canceled everything.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
but it is a great event. It was such a cool event, and the only thing I don't like is all the smoke.
Oh, same. I didn't think I would get used to that at all. I mean, I didn't get used to it, but
No,
like the second I didn't even walk in, I was still outside. I was like, oh God, I forgot about casinos and cigarette smoke.
I was like every 2 hours I need to go wash my eyes out with water.
That is true. That is true. I'm so excited to go. I think it's going to be really, really cool. And I feel like we're going to have things happen. I just feel like we're going to.
They probably will, and you'll probably start thinking about it well before. They say that people start dreaming about stuff like the fruitions that may happen when they're there ahead of time. So, I mean, you'll have to let me know if you think of anything or something pops in your head, and see if there's any correlation with some of the things that have happened at the house that are coming to you.
Yeah, I definitely will. When I had you on the podcast before, did you tell me that there is another location nearby the Hinsdale House that a lot of people kind of do them both at the same time?
Yeah. So while you're in Jamestown, you'll be passing Salamanca. It's about 30 minutes, and then another 30 minutes is Hinsdale. But in Salamanca, there's a Wildwood Sanitarium, which is on the way there. So a lot of people go there as well, and it's again one of those locations where you just feel things. Like I thought I captured what I think would be like a nurse, perhaps a shadow of a nurse on the third floor, and I followed it up the stairs, and it was just gliding, and then it was looking it looked like it was like stopping at the rooms that were up there. And when it turned around, it had like red dots where the eyes would have been, and then it dissipated into the wall. It was really weird.
Yeah, that sounds scary.
The
That's
other
more
thing
than weird. That sounds scary.
The other thing that happened there too is I had a can of Coke sitting on the counter in the kitchen downstairs on the first floor, and I was just sitting in the waiting area, and all of a sudden the thing just flew off the shelf, off the counter onto the floor. Like there's no way that just like a gust of wind's not going to do that. That took some power to just like whip that off the counter onto the floor. So it's an awesome location. There's another cool place. Allegheny Mountains are right there, and there's this thing called the Thunder Rocks. So this is all like glacier rocks on the top of this mountain that you can go check out, and it's very spiritual to me, like going there. It's in Allegheny State Park. It's really cool because you're on the top of a mountain, and these giant boulders that you can like climb on, even they're so big, were put there by glaciers. And if you look at them really close, you can see like incrustations of shells and snails, and it's just really neat.
Yeah, that's cool. So bring my hiking shoes.
Yes, might as well.
Okay, I want to go back a little bit, and just so that the listeners know and stuff, tell me about, you had experiences since you were a child and you grew up in a haunted house. Tell us about your first experience and a little bit about the haunted house that you grew up in.
Yeah, so the things that were happening when I was growing up, that are really like I can remember in the back of my mind, as I remember one time on a Sunday, we had gone to church, and we went out for breakfast, and when we came home, there was crayon drawings on the ceiling with crayons sitting in the middle of the floor, and the door was locked when we got home. And that was, my parents always kind of played it off, tried to make us feel comfortable, like somebody's pulling a prank. But I always felt like something was like watching us there. You could always hear creeps on the steps, like somebody was walking up the steps when nobody was there. When I was in the basement, I never felt comfortable. When I was a little bit older, my parents had gone camping in Canada, and I chose to stay at my friend's house who lived a couple doors down. And we were going over to my house to get my G.I. Joe guys. And when I opened the door, you could hear somebody singing upstairs. It sounded like somebody singing Ring Around the Rosie. And I wanted to get out of there. My friend jetted up the stairs to see who was up there. And as we walked by my sister's room, it was just a stuffed animal. And it was like that, and it just tipped over. And then that was this, you didn't hear it anymore. I always got accused of moving my sister's things and like stuffed animals and stuff like that, because she was a neat freak about those, putting them on her bed, and they'd always end up on the middle of her floor. So I always thought something was there, but then, we didn't really believe in that either. I wasn't until later in life. Now my parents are like, oh, I saw this shadow, and I saw my sister's like this happened. So we were actually able to tell our story on Discovery Channel. My Paranormal Nightmare was the show. It was kind of cool. But I ended up buying that house for my parents. And after I got the deed, I was able to like investigate it even more. And that's where the psychic came in from Lilydale, because I had just gone to see her, and she had said there's 2 children's spirits living in the house, which made sense because it wasn't like anything bad happening there. It was just like little things being moved, singing, stuffed animals being moved. And after I did the research on the location, I found that there were 2 kids that lived there to the original owners that died of cystic fibrosis. And they were supposedly attached to something that was theirs, and the house is what the psychic said. I had gone to the attic, and I shined a light up there, and there was these 2 boards on the wall over there, and I got up and tiptoed over there, and they were actually paintings of a little playing with the dog, and I still have those to this day. I felt, kind of feel like they're part of the family now, like it was my first Scooby-Doo experience of my life. It got me interested in history and really diving in deep while investigating. And then I kind of just honed in on my skill as far as like learning from people and going to places like Gettysburg, and just kind of bloomed from there, from that one experience at the house growing up.
Yeah, that's sort of not real similar, but a little similarity to like my story too. Like I had an experience when I was young. My family didn't really believe or anything like that, but instead of it scaring me away from the paranormal, it like really intrigued me and made me want to find out more and like go to all kinds of places and investigate, even before like investigating was a thing to do. Like you just have your little camera and walk around at midnight because maybe you'll catch something or see something.
Before everybody thought we were
so
just
exciting. Weird. Yes. Well, they still think weird,
yeah,
but
that's fine. Part of the club.
So let's talk about some of the shows. Like, tell me about Death Walker.
Yeah, so Death Walker is an idea that Nick came up with. This is, after years of forging a friendship with him through meeting him with coming there doing Paranormal Lockdown, an idea that he came up with. He was kind of having a hard time with some of the networks, and our idea was to finance it ourselves, produce it ourselves, and maybe with a couple investors. And we started producing the show. And I've never done anything like this. It was fun for me. I was probably doing the job of 10 people on this production, like actors and actresses and call sheets. And it was like the school of hard knocks for me, learning all this stuff and putting it all together, reenactment shoots and what cameras are we going to use? Where are we renting this from? Like itineraries, like hotels and then, filming the locations with them and then adding in the pieces to it after and making the stories interesting and Tessa's input into it as well. It was just it's an amazing experience. We're finishing up season 5 right now, and if you would have told me 6 or 7 years ago, oh, you're going to help make a television show, I would have been like, yeah, right. But it's part of life, and it's fun, like just learning things and trying to participate in it too. Like he's had me on a couple of the episodes as well because of obviously Hinsdale House and then this other cool place called the Van Horn Mansion that I've had experiences at. And then I've also been able to help him out on an investigation at a house as well. Me and my friend Melody were there helping him out with some of the cameras and stuff like that too. So I've had my hands in a little bit of everything with this show, and it's been quite the ride and a lot of fun, trying to get it sold and all the talking to people and trying to get things to happen and different networks. I didn't realize there was so much to it, like all the different countries and like it's crazy, but it's I feel pretty well versed in it now, and it's fun because I go on other productions and I see like 20-30 crew and I'm like, wait, I did that job and that job and that job and that I did all these jobs, and it's been fun.
Yeah, tell me about Ghost Finders.
So yeah, Ghost Finders is it's one of the longest running independent paranormal shows that's out there right now. It's been 12 seasons, and Rob, the founder of the group, came to the Hinsdale House, and I just really liked their professionalism, how they produced it, and how the team that was there, and I wanted to see more, and I wanted to see them at the locations that I was familiar with since they did the Hinsdale House, and they did such a good job with the episode. I contact with Rob, and I'm like, well, why don't you come do this location? How about, and I got them into probably like 4 or 5 different locations to the point where he's like, do you want to join the cast? And I'm like, I didn't know if I really wanted to do that with everything else I had going on. But then I said, you know what, you only live once. And I joined and started filming with them and going all over the country. And it was fun, just having fun with it. And I think if I stopped having fun, I'd probably stop doing it. But the group that I get to work with, like Megan Deputies, she's a eclectic witch, just learning from her and having her on set and just seeing how other people do things, it's really cool. And just we meshed really well together, and I think you can see that when you watch the show. It's just very natural flowing, it's nothing's rehearsed, no words are rehearsed, no scripts or anything like that, and it's just really a good time.
Well, you've been on so many shows and produced so many shows and stuff too, including America's Most Terrifying Places. Wait, what place did you talk about on that show?
So America's Most Terrifying Locations, we did Hinsdale House and we did Wildwood, both of those locations.
Oh, okay.
It's been on A Haunting too.
Oh yeah. With being going to all of these locations and everything, what do you think is like one of the scariest or most active?
So there's 2 locations that really stood out to me. Like there's one called in Davenport, Iowa, and they're gonna hate me for saying it because they use it as a wedding venue, but it's called the Renwick Mansion. And I'm staying in one of the rooms in this mansion, and it's right on the Davenport, right on the river there. And I'm sleeping, getting some good sleep, and all of a sudden you hear the shutters just slam open in the room, like a maid came in and just opened the shutters to the window. And I just basically almost fell out of my bed. I'm like, what's going on? There was only me and one other person staying, and we had the whole house to ourselves for the whole night. We were up late, so I was pretty dead tired, and That was one of the very creepy things that have happened. I was kind of weary about staying there again, but then I'm like, if it is, it's probably just a maid or something waking my ass up. So that was pretty scary location. Then I also did this Ukrainian club. It's an old German Ukrainian club in downtown Buffalo, and we were investigating in the basement. And I don't know why all the creepy crap happens in the basement, but we were down there, and I just heard like this I'm asking questions. Are you here? Can you make yourself known? And I just heard this low rumble, like this. It's just like in the back of my head. It just like I don't want this thing following me home. It's holistic. It said get out, like just like, and there's nobody there in this basement, and um, it freaked me out a little bit. In that old building, it's been like a Ukrainian club, a German club, a Polish club, and it's a lot of history in that building. So that one definitely give me the creepers. Just hearing that audibly, because
Yeah.
that's the first time I ever heard anything like not on a recorder. This is like I'm hearing this with my own ears, and that amount of energy that is needed to make me hear that, something's got power down there, and I don't want to mess with it. So
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned earlier Gettysburg. Did you have an experience at all in Gettysburg?
I have, and I've captured some really good pictures on the battlefield. We were doing it was just one of those like walking tours at night, and full advantage of just snapping pictures with my camera, and it looked like a full bodied apparition of a soldier just walking like right next to us, like boom. I'm like, whoa, and then we've heard like over by the Sachs Bridge, we heard like it sounded like this drumming, like just drumming going on, and we're like, where's this coming from? We're like in the woods, like, and just very cool, really unique, cool experiences there that really stand out. So it was really neat to be able to hear that stuff audibly and to snap that picture. That picture is probably my favorite picture that I've ever captured personally on the battlefield.
Wow.
It's you can just it's
Yeah.
so defined with white ghost there. So it's so neat.
Oh, can you share it with us so I can post it on
Oh
here?
yeah, I'll pull it up and give it to you. You want the picture of the
Okay.
puck wedgie too?
Yes, I
I'll
do.
send you that too.
For sure. It's yeah, so many people have very wild stories about Gettysburg and things they've experienced. And I've been there once. It was a very long time ago, and I was just on a daytime tour and I didn't experience anything, but I just feel like I'm drawn and I feel like I need to go back. I feel like I'll experience something if I go back now.
Yeah, yeah, you definitely should. It's a maybe stay in
But
one of the historic locations, investigate while you're there.
yes, because there's the one house too, and I had one of the guys on, I'm blanking on his name now. He wrote a book about the ghosts of Gettysburg. And he was talking about this house and that the room literally had blood on the floor. And they were able to get a sample of it and prove that it was blood, but then like it was gone the next
Wow.
time. And they'd use this room as a makeshift hospital.
Yeah. I mean that's really cool. Was it
Just
Sam that wrote that book? I don't know. There's been a couple books about it, but that's yeah, just to have the blood soaked into the wood and for them to be able to actually figure that out is really cool.
yeah, it's such a fascinating place, and there's so many stories. Tell me about some of your other favorite locations. Have you done like all the big ones like Winchester and Queen Mary and just like all the big things like that?
Alcatraz, um, Winchester.
You got to do Alcatraz?
Yeah, that was cool. But the Queen or the I haven't done the Queen Mary actually. I want to do the Queen Mary, but the Winchester Mystery House, that's probably like one of my favorite places. Like I felt like pretty blessed to be able to be in there filming and having the whole place to ourselves. Like you're usually there and just have the tours, and you can definitely get lost in there. And I was just
Oh,
other people were filming in a different area, and I was with Rosa, and we were in this. There was this set of stairs that we found, and then all of a sudden, in the stairs, you just started hearing like somebody was knocking, and I got my camera out real quick, and I have it on camera, and I'm like, what is that knocking noise? And then when we started walking, kind of stopped. So I have no idea. Something was knocking or letting us know that their presence was there for sure, and it's like you know why they call it the mystery house, because there's so many doors that you open up and lead to nowhere. It's such a cool place, and I would definitely like to go back and spend some more time there if I could. But yeah,
Yeah.
definitely cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. Tell me about Alcatraz because they don't really let people investigate there very
Well,
often.
yeah, it wasn't a private investigation. It was kind of like a makeshift investigation. But I got to
Oh.
meet one of the old prisoners and talk to him a little bit about the location, and then did some just like quick EVP sessions when I was there, and some had a K2 meter in my pocket and just some basic tools. And the EVP that I got from there in one of the cells was help, and I was like, wow,
Mm.
nobody, when I'm doing, and we got a lot of K2 action there as well, like in the bathrooms. But again, I didn't get to do cross my T's and dot all my I's with the location either. It was just kind of a makeshift. So who knows? There could be a reason behind it, but the EVP was cool.
Yeah. What about Myrtles?
We filmed there. I've never got to investigate there. Nick's got to do it.
Yeah.
Lead
I'm trying to
parental.
think of some of the other big ones. Lizzie Borden.
Sloss Furnaces I've got to do down in Alabama.
Oh, I don't know that one very well. Tell me about that one.
It's just an old industrial area where they used to, it's manufacturing, and many deaths associated with the company, like people falling off getting torn up machines on one.
Yikes.
Very very haunted location, and it's really cool. Just being night was creepy AF, and being able to investigate there was really cool. But it is pretty iconic. A lot of people know about it. The Sloth Furnaces. It's a pretty iconic location. It's been on a lot of shows.
Yeah, I've definitely heard of it. But I just have never been there and I don't really know like the history about it or a lot about it, but I've definitely heard of it. What
Yeah.
about some of the asylums and stuff? Have you been to Penhurst or Trans Allegheny or
Yeah, I've been to both of them. Penhurst, again, having that whole place to yourself, it's so big, so much space, so much ground. And I have, the blessing of being able to go into some of the locations that you weren't able to go into normally, like over where the hospital used to
Mhm.
be. The shadow figure that we captured on camera, like it was going into the hospital. And then I had a geo box that I was using over there, and I was getting seemed like I was having a conversation with a doctor, or at least they were portraying themselves as a patient. But it was a really cool. I, that place is awesome. I'm glad they're fixing it up, into a better situation where more people can enjoy the area and the space and all the history there.
Mhm. What about Waverly?
Waverly Hills, unfortunately, that's on my bucket list.
Mine too. It's like on the top.
It's hard, and I'm sure you kind of are torn in the same way. You kind of go to places when you go. It's not like a lot of the times it's like, oh, you're getting booked here, my agent books me here, or you're doing a tour here, and it's like, oh, I'm going to this place. So you don't get to really knock off a lot of the places on your bucket list because you don't have a lot of time. So, but I know I'll get there at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. There's just so many like my bucket list is so long of the places that I want to go to, and I feel like every time I do a podcast, I'm like, oh, that's on my top now, and they move all around. So when somebody asks me like my the one place I really want to go, it's usually Waverly, but sometimes something else will come up, and I'll be like, okay, no, I'm doing that one next.
One has superseded the other temporarily.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, I have a few roundup questions for you. And some of these I feel like we already kind of did, but I'll ask you again anyway, just whatever the top thing comes to your mind. Scariest paranormal place you've ever been?
Probably the Riviera Theater in North Tonawanda, New York. Check it out.
Ooh. Okay. Wait, what happened there? I gotta know now.
So we were investigating the location, and I was in the mezzanine by myself, just sitting there, and this shadow came out of the wall where there was a little baby grand piano, and it glided right, like literally like this far away from me. And I just took a breath, and I was like, I was seeing this with my own eyes. The laser grid that we had set up, it wasn't penetrating through this, so it had to have some type of mass to it. I'm thinking of all the logical things in my head, and then it glided into the projection room, and I got up and ran out the building because I couldn't breathe. I felt like I couldn't breathe. You
Yeah.
want to experience this kind of stuff, and then when it actually happens, you're like, like how you're going to react when it actually happens. But that was definitely one of the
Yeah.
scariest.
Yeah. Okay. favorite paranormal tool to use besides yourself? Because a lot of people say, "Oh, it's my own instinct," but
I like
actual
using
tool.
I like using my Geo box that was made by George Browning. It's a really unique. It's got like echo and reverb on it, and it really hones out the voices that come through on the spirit box, and it's very clear as far as like the words that come out when you're speaking to it. It feels like I can have a live conversation with an energy that's there.
That's cool. Maybe that's what I need because I feel like I'm so bad with the spirit box and like hearing EVPs and stuff. People will be like, "Oh, did you hear that? Did you hear that?" I'm like, "No, I didn't hear anything."
Yeah, it's really cool because you can, you when you're using these other tools, it's like you're trying to have a conversation and you're going back and listening to it. You can't ask any follow-up questions, but with a geo box, you can have like a live conversation and maybe have a more in-depth conversation and try to figure things out better, when you're diving in.
Yeah. I'm gonna look into that. What would you say is the best evidence you've ever captured?
Either that picture in Gettysburg that we spoke about earlier, or we have a picture at the Hinsdale House, which is amazing full body apparition of what we believe is Laura Dandy, which would have been one of the Dandy kids that passed away. She, I've shown the picture to her mom. Her mom lives in Florence, Oregon, and she right away said, "Oh, that's my Laura." And I said, "Wow," because you
Hmm.
can see like a whole dress and it fades away, but if you look really close and blow it up, you can see her face, and she's right in front of her room, just like boom, full body.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Oh, yeah. Do you carry anything for protection?
Not really. I'm not. I am into that. Like, but I feel like my intentions are pure, and I don't feel like I've never had anything honestly happen. Knock on wood, where anything's been brought home. I feel like when I go into a location, my intentions are pure, and I project that out, and hopefully what's ever there either tells me to get out or is cool with what I'm doing. So, but I've never, like, I don't do
Yeah.
the sage thing. I don't do like I do carry a blessed amulet, and okay, I guess I do carry something that's spiritually for me. Like I do have that I carry in my pocket when I go to
Yeah.
investigations. But
Okay.
it's been blessed by many different priests of different denominations, and just for me, it feels cool to have it.
Yeah. And then we kind of said this one already, but paranormal place you haven't been yet but are dying to go to.
Yeah, definitely Trans Allegheny. There's so many. I would like to go to Paris. I would like to go to the underground crypts with all the bones. I
The
think that would be
catacombs.
really cool to do that. Or maybe even Egypt and one of the pyramids
Oh, that. Yes. That'd be so
on an
cool.
expanded level. Like Europe would be amazing to go to some of those.
Definitely. Have you done much like investigating outside of the country?
Just in England, I've been able to go to a couple castles and stuff. Some events I've been over there to speak at events and stuff like that. I've been able to, just a couple places. There's so much more I would like to do. So hopefully I'll be
Yeah.
asked to come back soon. If they're watching
Yeah.
this, invite me back.
Yes, me too. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your stories with us. Tell everyone listening how they can follow you on social media, book the Hinsdale House, all that good stuff. Watch your shows, everything.
Yeah, so just the easiest way to find me is my website, danielklaes.com. It's DANIELKLAES. It's right on the screen there, .com. And there'll be links to the Hinsdale House, any bookings or things that I'm involved with as far as events and things like that will be on there. Wildwood Sanitarium's on there. And basically that's my shop's on there as well, my online shop, if you're into like paranormal gear or cool t-shirts like this one, that they're all available
Awesome.
up on my shop. So
Perfect. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Ghost Bunny podcast. Thank you so much for joining me on my spooky adventures, and I look forward to sharing a new ghost story with you each week. Please subscribe to my podcast so you're always the first to know when a new episode is out, and follow me on social media at Ghost Bunny Podcast on Instagram and at Ghost Bunny Podcast on YouTube for the video version. Oh, and my patreon.com/Ghost Bunny for spooky tours, investigations, and more content. Thanks, guys.